Okay, hopefully you tried those and take a moment and check those answers. If it didn't go well, please raise your hand. Your substitute teacher today actually is a math teacher. She can definitely help you with these, so please ask her to help you and she will do that. We're going to continue on with our last rule that we need to know, and this is our last rule for our exponents. Once we have this, we've covered everything we need to know for exponents. So here we have a fraction, and a fraction involving powers. It says take that fraction and square it. Well, that means squaring it means multiply it by itself. Now remember rules of fractions, they say multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom. So if I multiply x to the fifth times x to the fifth, I'm multiplying, so when I multiply I add my exponents. I get x to the 10th. On the bottom I'm multiplying y to the third times y to the third. Again, when I'm multiplying I add my exponents and I get y to the 6th. Okay, here we go again. Same idea, fraction, but this time to the third power. To the third power says multiply it by itself 3 times. Okay, so remember that, again, the rules of multiplying fractions is that you multiply straight across the top, straight across the bottom. So p squared times p squared times p squared means I have 2 p's, another 2 p's, and another 2 p's. I have 6 p's, so on the top we get p to the 6th. On the bottom I have q to the 7th, a q to the 7th, a q to the 7th. I have 3 q to the 7ths, so I have q to the 21st, because there's 21 q's there. Okay, one more. Again, they have it written out for you. There's to the 4th power, so we multiply it times itself 4 times. Multiplying straight across the top, 2 3's, 2 3's, 2 3's, and 2 more 3's gives me a total of 8 3's. On the bottom, 5 times 5 times 5 times 5, that's 4 5's, so I get 5 to the 4th. Okay, again, you try the next two and even the third if you can see if you can figure out that rule. Okay, hopefully you've completed those. If you haven't, make sure you pause this and complete them now. I'm going to show you the simplified form. You should have 4 to the 3rd over 7 to the 6th. Here you should have x to the 50th over y to the 35th. That's a 5. And then here, hopefully we're starting to see the pattern. It's again similar to before where we have a situation where we're raising a power to a power. We're applying it to both the numerator and the denominator. And the rule for power to power is to multiply. So we want to take a to the 71st and raise that to the 32nd power. And then we want to do on the bottom the same thing with a b to the 19th. And we're going to raise that to the 32nd power. When we do that, we get very large exponents. We get on the top, remember power to power, we multiply. We get an a to the 2,272. And on the bottom, we get a b to the 608. Okay, very large values. There's no way you'd want to write that out expanded. So the general rule is this. If you have a whole fraction with powers in it, if we have an x to the a over y to the b, and that's raised to a power c, that means we apply that outside exponent, what the whole fraction is raised to a power of, to each of the numerator and the denominator. So applying that means I'm raising it to another power, so I'm multiplying. So I get x to the a times c over y to the b times c. Okay, that's our final rule. Okay, and that completes all of our notes for our rules of exponents. Now I want you to go ahead and work on practice 2.